What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, and we are going to talk about Trevor Bauer today and all things about MLB offseason. But first, I do want to say something. Earlier today, we did find out about the passing of an MLB legend in Hank Aaron. Obviously, he was the home run record holder before Barry Bonds broke it. Absolute legend of the game, one of the pioneers for African-American ball players in the game. Absolute legend. He went through so much adversity and everything he was able to overcome and be one of the best players in baseball. I don't think he gets enough credit when people talk about some of the greatest players of all time, because he was definitely one of them, both offensively and defensively. He was just an absolute stud. So rest in peace to Hank Aaron, and it just really sucks to hear. 2021's been a rough year to start, obviously with the passing of Tommy Lasorda, Don Sutton the other day, and then now Hank Aaron. A bad start to the year, but you know what? I just want to come out and say, so rest in peace to Hank Aaron, and just my God, what an amazing life he lived, and what a great career and everything. All right, now let's get into the topic of today's video. We're going to be talking all about Trevor Bauer. I saw an article that just came out about the two frontrunners being the Angels and the Mets. We'll talk about that in a sec. I want to bring up some dark horse candidates who could sign Trevor Bauer, who can actually afford Trevor Bauer, who can't afford Trevor Bauer, all sorts of different things. So let's talk about it in just a sec, but before we do, if you want to stay updated on when YouTube videos will be released, when we'll be live on Twitch, all sorts of things like that, follow me on social media, NMR Sports 30. It'll be in the description of this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the content. Help us reach some more people on this channel. We're so close to 200 subs in almost a month. So thank you guys so much for the support. About 90% of you who do watch the videos, though, aren't subscribed. So be sure to hit that sub button if you want to see more content like this. Turn those notifications on so you know when we post our next video. I also have some other links in the description. My Diamond in the Rough podcast we just started with a few buddies. We talk all about baseball. If you like long content with baseball conversations, definitely check that out. And I think that's all we got for you, so let's get into the video. Now, just about every team in Major League Baseball would want Trevor Bauer on their squad, but we're going to talk about 5 of the teams that could be in on Trevor Bauer today, starting with, of course, my personal favorite, the Anaheim Angels. Now, out of the 5 teams that we're going to talk about today, I'd say the worst team on this list, at least going into next year so far, is the Anaheim Angels, but it's also the place where Trevor Bauer can make the biggest impact. Now, the Angels missed the playoffs last year. They missed the playoffs every year since 2014, where they got swept in 3 games by the Kansas City Royals. So Mike Trout, the greatest player possibly of all time in the future, definitely the greatest player right now. I don't think that's much of a debate. We can talk about that at a different time. Has not been to the playoffs since 2014. And Trevor Bauer is the missing piece of the puzzle to get him there. Will they be a World Series contender if they just get Trevor Bauer? Probably not, but they will definitely make the postseason. You can almost guarantee with this Bauer signing, the Angels will be in the postseason, and Mike Trout will get to play meaningful baseball in October. So that is the biggest thing that the Angels have to lose if they lose out on Trevor Bauer. So if Trevor Bauer is looking for the best team to make an impact on and go around flexing, maybe put it in his Twitter bio. I know he loves his social media. I was the guy who got the greatest player of all time to the playoffs when they couldn't make the playoffs for the last, 8 years or whatever. I think that is the biggest flex of all time. I don't know. We could talk about it later. But let's look into the Angels' payroll situation and find out if they can afford Trevor Bauer right now. Now, can the Angels afford Trevor Bauer? The answer is yes. Will they pay enough for Trevor Bauer? I'm a little skeptical on that. Let's look at the numbers here. So what you're looking at on the screen right now, this is the Angels' payrolls from 2000 to 2020. Obviously, 2020 being significantly lower because of the weird COVID year. 2019, you saw they paid $158 million was their payroll. $166 million was the highest they've ever had in 2018, which was nowhere near the competitive balance tax threshold. Now, what is the competitive balance tax threshold? Now, Artie Moreno has never wanted to go over this, and I don't blame him. The competitive balance tax is basically so one team doesn't go out and spend $500 million without being taxed on it. So the Yankees usually go over this. They don't really care about it. They'll pay like $254 million. But every dollar you spend over that competitive balance tax threshold, you are paying 20% to that dollar. So every dollar you pay somebody, you are paying 20 cents on that. So it's definitely something owners want to avoid, and I believe every year you're over that threshold, it goes up. So that's why the Red Sox ended up trading Mookie Betts instead of signing him to a big extension. All sorts of different things like that go into effect when talking about payrolls on baseball teams. Now, with that being said, looking at the Angels' payrolls here, they've never gone over the competitive balance tax threshold, so I wouldn't really expect them to go over $210 million. The Angels' current payroll for 2021 is $162 million. So with that being said, they have about $48 million before they reach that 210 competitive balance tax threshold. So they obviously could afford Trevor Bauer next year if they're willing to go up and just kind of knock on the door of that balance tax. Will Artie Moreno be doing this? I'm not 100% sure, but if he really wants to get Mike Trout to the playoffs, he definitely will. Maybe Perry Manassian can talk some sense into him and finally get him to go out and acquire some big pieces in order to get them to the postseason. So in summary, the Angels have the biggest need for Trevor Bauer. He would make the biggest impact for the Angels, and they could afford him. I just don't think they're willing to spend the money right now. We'll have to see. Obviously, all signs kind of point that he would go to the Angels right now, but we'll definitely have to see. Trevor Bauer's kind of a curveball right now. We don't really know what he's going to do next. He could be watching this video right now for all I know. Now, the next team we're going to talk about is the second, one of the two teams that seem to be front runners other than the Angels are the New York Mets. Now, the New York Mets have obviously made some crazy deals this offseason with acquiring Francisco Lindor, Carlos Carrasco. They obviously have Jacob deGrom in that rotation. Noah Syndergaard should be coming back mid-season in order to help them out. So they would have an absolutely nasty rotation to begin with. And imagine having two of the top 3 Cy Young Award vote getters from the National League in one rotation. That's what the Mets would be putting together. So I think if the Mets go out and sign Trevor Bauer, they instantly become NL East favorites and possibly be able to compete with the Dodgers and the Padres. I don't really think it makes them better than either of those teams, but they're definitely be able to compete with them because realistically what you need is a 3-man rotation for the postseason to go deep into it. So Trevor Bauer would be definitely a good fit. Let's look at their cap situation. Now, I'm not really going to look into the numbers of their past because the Wilpons obviously were a much different ownership group than Stephen Cohen is. So Stephen Cohen, currently their payroll is sitting at $166 million, which is the 3rd highest in all of baseball, slightly higher than the Angels. Do they have the money to sign Bauer and stay under the luxury tax? Yes, they do. Will they? Probably. I would say the Mets are more likely to get on and get to and above the luxury tax threshold than the Angels would be, just because Stephen Cohen loves his Mets and he's a very good owner in baseball, and he's proven that to us already. So I really think that Stephen Cohen would be more willing to spend up to that $210 million than Artie Moreno would be with the Angels. Now, speaking of near the luxury tax, the Los Angeles Dodgers are rumored to be in on Trevor Bauer, and this one doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. They have the highest payroll in all of baseball. They have a lot of young guys who they're going to need to be signing to contracts in the future. And if you're committing anything from like $25 to $35 million a year to a guy like Trevor Bauer, you're not going to be able to sign guys like Cody Bellinger in the future. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good fit for the Dodgers. If he goes to the Dodgers, they're winning the World Series in 2021. I can guarantee you that. So, I mean, if he wants a ring immediately and I don't know. If you want, if you want a ring immediately, Trevor Bauer, this is the team for you. I think you win a World Series in 2021 with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Just imagine that. Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Trevor Bauer. They still have a bunch of young guys in their rotation like Dustin May. David Price should be back in 2021. David Price would be their number 5 starter, in my opinion. That'd be absolutely crazy. And then Julio Urias would probably be in the bullpen at that point, or maybe their 6th starter. I don't even know. Trevor Bauer to the Dodgers scares the shit out of me. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. We're going to move on to the next team. Now, I know I said I had 5 teams, but the 5th team was going to be the San Diego Padres, and no. All right, now with that being said, we're going to move on to my personal favorite fit for Trevor Bauer that I think would be an amazing fit for both sides, and that is the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays are by no means a small market team. I think they have the money to pay Trevor Bauer. Even with the addition of George Springer, they have about $83 million left before they hit the competitive, the luxury tax, as they say. So I just think it's the best fit for him. I think he would make a big impact into that rotation. Imagine Trevor Bauer, Hyun-Jin Ryu being their nice little 1-2 punch there at the top of that rotation. Obviously, Nate Pearson's really young. He could have a good impact on Nate Pearson there as well. As well as a good bullpen shaping up for him. So if he leaves a game, you get a lot of wins in that case. And an amazing and young, exciting lineup to have there in Toronto. So I really think it's a good fit for Trevor Bauer and a great fit for the Toronto Blue Jays. I know there's some other teams that other people probably want to talk about, like the Chicago White Sox are a player on him as well. But as I said, Angels would be the biggest impact. Mets would make them a potential World Series contender. Dodgers would make them absolutely terrifying. The Padres, no. And the Toronto Blue Jays, I think, would just be a perfect fit. He's a perfect piece of the puzzle for them. Obviously, I don't know. I just think it makes the most sense to have Trevor Bauer to the Toronto Blue Jays. So with that being said, guys, that is going to do it for us today in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all the support. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're at 186 subscribers at the time of making this. Let's try to hit 200 by the end of by the next video. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment. I'm sure you guys have controversial takes on Bauer. I feel like it's the most controversial free agent right now. Nobody knows where he's going to sign. Like I said, he might even be watching this right now. So thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next one.